Hello and welcome to highlights of the 2010 AutoGP Formula Sim Racing World Championship. Round 8 of the championship is the Canadian Grand Prix, taking place on the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Located on a man-made island in the city of Montreal, this is a deceptively tricky circuit that can catch the drivers out. With the barriers running very close to the track, there is little room for error. Precision Motorsport locked out the front row in qualifying, with Bonneville taking his 4th pole position this season. Ronnie Hannell qualified in 2nd, and David Greco, who has now replaced Malazich at Twister Racing, set the 3rd fastest time. Frederick Nilsson produced another impressive time to qualify 4th, and Lee Morris set his best qualifying result of the year in 5th. Off the start line, there were no real winners or losers, and the run down into the first corner proved to be clean. The only incident coming from Dominguez, who lost his front wing after braking too late. The rest of the field made their way through the first sector in single file with very few passing attempts. On lap 2, Denis Haril made a move on Prevost on the inside of the hairpin. Poniatowski tried to follow Haril on the inside, but contact was made, resulting in Prevost spinning and damaging his car. While trying to call for his pit crew, Prevost accidentally selected neutral, and Peter Carser ran straight into the back of him. Fortunately, all other drivers managed to avoid the accident, and Carser even made it back to the pits for repairs. At the front, Huys was still in the lead, but Hannell was all over the back of him. Greco was slipping behind the leading pair, and Haril continued to move up the order, first passing Morris and then Nilsson for 4th. On lap 8, Hannell got a run on Huys down the main straight, and wanting to avoid a Red Bull-esque incident, Huys offered little resistance to his teammate. However, only a few laps later, Huys took the position back in exactly the same manner, and then lost the position again on the following lap. Although both drivers were clearly pushing each other, they were leaving plenty of room and maintaining the gap back to Greco in 3rd. Frederick Nilsson was hounding Haril in 4th, and after some tight wheel-to-wheel action, Nilsson eventually made it past on lap 16. Just behind, Lee Morris's lack of straight line speed was severely hurting the Englishman, with Poniatowski easily driving past him for 6th place. Daly and Marquez were also close behind, but after a challenge from Marquez into the final chicane, Daly turned in a tad too early, and the light contact was enough to send him into the wall, where he frustratingly stalled his engine. Poniatowski's incredibly high straight line speed allowed him to easily pass Haril and Nilsson to move up into 4th place, and Bruno Marquez had now moved up into the action as well, passing Haril for 6th position. Nilsson was the first of the front runners to pit, but the decision backfired on the Swede. He was soon held up by the trio of Boumelainen, Mäkkönen and De Witt as they battled for 7th place. Unfortunately, as Boumelainen tried to pass Mäkkönen into turn 1, Mäkkönen span, and with nowhere to go, Nilsson ploughed straight into his car. It was race over for Mäkkönen and the end of any chance for Nilsson to get a good result. The stops did not go well for Poniatowski either. The SB Motorsports crew took an extra 9 seconds for his routine pit stop, dropping him back behind Haril and Morris. Meanwhile, Hannell held the lead just ahead of Huys. Only Hannell had now managed to edge out a decent gap back to his teammate. The stops made little difference to the front pair, and there seemed to be no challenge for the Precision 1-2. David Greco continued to run a lonely race, comfortably in 3rd position with little pressure from behind. Marquez was now in 4th place, ahead of Haril in 5th. Recovering from his slow stop, Poniatowski made it past Morris to get back into 6th. Mikko Boumelainen soon passed Morris too. Driving a clean race, Boumelainen had now moved all the way up into 7th position. Lucas Euler was another driver who was now in a strong position, simply by avoiding the incidents. And when Morris unexpectedly made a 2nd scheduled stop, Euler found himself up in 8th position. Taking his first FSR victory in only his 8th Grand Prix, Ronnie Hannell crossed the line after a perfect, error-free race. Bono Huys finished close behind to make it a dominating precision performance. David Greco didn't disappoint his new Twister team, comfortably taking 3rd place, and Marquez drove another remarkable Grand Prix, gaining 9 places to finish in 4th. Denis Haril performed surprisingly well after a 6-month absence, taking 5th, and Poniatowski and Boumelainen secured a good result for SB Motorsports, finishing 6th and 7th. Huys has now taken the lead in the championship, but he is only clear of Marquez by 9 points. Tali's 3rd poor result in a row has dropped him down into 3rd place, and while Malazich remains in 4th position, it is unclear as to whether he will drive again this season. Greco has passed Mäkkönen for 5th, and Hannell's win has boosted him up into 7th place. Precision's 1-2 has given the team the lead in the Constructors, but Twister are only behind by 9 points. Third place Leon Cavallo failed to score points this round, but they still remain comfortably ahead of SB Motorsports in fourth. Go Speed's healthy haul of points has helped them to break clear of Torrent Motorsports and Faster Than Speed. The next race will be the European Grand Prix. You can tune in at 5:25 GMT on the 20th of June for the multi-BC broadcast. To watch the action live, go to www.formula-simracing.net and follow the links to the live broadcast. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I'm Simon Adebisi, and we'll see you this weekend in Spain for the next leg of the AutoGP FSR World Championship.